Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied. Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
Your disease. And I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was distracted by this giant bowl of bacon that
What,
I'm
now,
eating
hold,
tonight.
now, I have a question
Put the
right off the
bacon
bat.
down.
No.
You put the bacon down.
Well, okay. What's your
Or-
question already?
Why, but isn't this supposed to be a horror episode?
Nope.
Yeah, yeah,
Nope.
it's supposed to be.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm so
it is.
confused.
No. Nope. It's the month of action.
Oh, that's right.
I
Yes,
don't even
that's
understand
right.
why it's the month of action. He just made this up.
And what's your point?
Yeah, I don't think the evil overlord here cares. What,
Right.
Yeah, it's
keep
not like,
keep
you
it
know.
up, and it'll be the year of action. It'll just be
hell.
all year, all action. It's just awesome. So I got like a giant bowl of bacon for the month of action because it's July, and what goes better with July and action movies? Bacon. So it's amazing. So it's having a good time.
It just
What's-
doesn't add up.
It's
The
all
math doesn't add up.
the math is perfect. The math is always
it'll
correct.
be corrected in October, I'm sure.
That's right. What's going on,
Kind of.
everybody? Nate, let me do the intro. Jesus, stop it. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Give Me Back My Action Movies, a podcast, the month of action. I am one of many hosts tonight, Charlie. With me, as always, is Mr. Complainer himself, Nate. Say hi, Nate.
The horror guy doesn't get a horror movie. There's the complaint.
Yep. And beside him on my screen is the one, the only Pete. Say
Hey,
hello, Pete.
how you doing? We got to be good this tonight. Tonight we got to be real good.
We gotta be real good tonight.
We
We're
gotta be real
always
good.
good. We're always good.
But
Eh.
we got to be good for this next guy though.
Well, after weeks, it feels like of negotiations and trying to convince him to come back. He left the last episode just kind of surly and salty, and it was just kind of wild. But we have finally negotiated to welcome back Troy. Troy, say hello to the people.
Their people talk to my people. We made some introductions, signed some documents. I think we're going to be good.
Yeah, he gets
out
PTO.
it comes out of Nate's cut. So
Yeah. I actually have to buy twice the movies now.
right, yeah,
And
so
they're
he-
all action.
Mm-hmm.
right all month because this is the action month.
Action.
You
month.
guys get a horror month. I wanted an action month.
We get like 3/4 of a horror month.
No, the horror month coming up is all horror.
Debatable.
And there's one that's debatable, and guess who didn't pick it?
Mm-hmm.
You.
Yeah, I didn't pick it.
No,
so
you
it
picked
doesn't.
it.
I did not pick it.
Yeah, well,
Haha, fooled you with the double negative.
everyone's already like,
Insane.
it's July. Why are we talking about October?
Because you guys are complaining that I got a month
I'm
of
not
action.
complaining. Let's get into this movie because
That's right. I know. I picked an awesome movie for us to
Yes.
cover too.
Yep,
We are-
you did. That's
We
true.
are covering Speed.
Man.
Hell yeah, we are.
Oh my God, this movie. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. We're jumping in the trailer now so
Do
we
it.
can just start talking. So here we go, everybody. Is Speed.
All right, gentlemen, what we have here are 13 passengers in an express elevator. Bomb's already taken out cables. Bomber wants $3 million or he blows the emergency brake.
Dedication and bravery, these next two officers effected the rescue of 13 citizens of this city. Thanks to them, the only life taken by the terrorist bomb was his own.
There's a bomb on a bus. If it drops below 50, it blows up.
Campbell, we just got a ransom demand from your dead terrorist. Says he's rigged the city bus. Where's Jack?
What do you think?
dismantle that bomb.
This is not a very good plan.
Interactive TV, Jack. Wave to the future. Ha ha ha.
I want you to get out of there and sit tight. We're gonna go after the source.
We're leaking gas? What, you felt you needed another challenge or something?
Why are they messing with me? Huh? Do they think I'm doing this for fun? When I find you, do not attempt to grow a brain.
It's just freaking epic.
That might have been the best trailer I think we've
Yeah,
ever
that's-
played.
It's
It didn't have
amazing.
trailer voice guy, but
No.
it was
But that
still-
music,
yeah.
which the music in the movie rules.
Boom. This is a really early boom trailer,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Right? Yeah. It was one of those things that this felt so Michael Bay without involving Michael Bay whatsoever. in
It's
this
a good movie. It's not a Michael Bay movie. It's a good movie.
He did some good movies.
He did good movies.
He's done some good movies.
Bad Boys 2, sir.
That's right. Bad Boys 2. Go check out that episode we did. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
There's
But
a
no,
reason why we covered it.
yeah, Jan DeBont did this one, and this guy is kind of hit or miss because he also did Speed 2. Cruise Control.
Weird,
All right,
huh?
so
Isn't this like one of his
that's
very
2 hits.
first directorial?
This is his
efforts?
debut.
Oh, debut.
Yeah.
It was his debut. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also got to do the least favorite Lethal Weapon, which is Lethal Weapon 3. So
No, he did. He was just a cinematographer on that one.
Was he just? I thought he directed that one. Or was
Yep.
he just
The last movie
cinematographer?
he directed was the second Tomb Raider movie.
That was bad. That was bad.
So basically, he had this and Twister, 2 mega hits, and then flop, flop, flop.
I do love Twister.
That's a bad word, Nate. Don't say that word.
Yeah, I know it's a bad word. That's why I said it. Because I wanted to
Troy
see the
will come
look
through that
in Troy's
screen.
eyes.
I hate that movie. I am so annoyed by Twister. God, I'm annoyed by that movie.
I just watched that the other day. It was on Tubi, and it was just we were just playing random movies, and Twister came on, and I'm like, yes!
So much better.
I can watch
things to
Twister
watch on
all the
Tubi than
time.
Twister.
No, Twister's
Oh.
amazing. Stop it. That was like a family movie for us.
Yeah, I remember
You
Twister
have
being
a
like a
weird
family
family,
movie
sir.
for sure.
Yeah. But I can also tell you another movie that felt like a family movie, and that was Speed. Because this is the first R-rated VHS my parents bought me. I got this for
Oh.
Christmas.
That's cool.
And because this came out like 94, so it would have been like probably 95 when I
Mm-hmm.
got it. And I never saw it in theater. We didn't go to the movies a whole lot, so it was as soon as it was ready to rent. Dad rented it, and I swear I don't even think I had to wait till the next day. Dad was just like, "Oh, this is totally a Charlie movie. Like, this isn't bad." Even Mom, she was like, "Okay, yeah, this one's fine." Some language she didn't really care for.
I think that's why it's R, because they really they throw around
that
a lot of
and
F-bombs.
so 2 fairly intense deaths, I would have to say,
Okay.
for
Yeah,
a
definitely.
14-year-old
Okay.
in this movie. But yeah, I remember renting it, and then Dad let me watch it, and I just couldn't stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would rent it multiple times, and to the point where my parents finally did the math, going, it would be cheaper to buy him the damn
buy the
movie.
damn thing.
And it was my very first R-rated
That's
VHS,
awesome.
and this is also like I knew I was born in the 80s and I grew up with action movies, but this is like my generation action movie.
Oh, sure.
This is, just right in the mid 90s. It was getting into that everyman kind of, action type movies. And this one just felt like mine. Like this was made for me to see. And my, every kid I knew my age had seen Speed. We talked about it all the time. But what about you guys? Nate, you're the baby. What's your experience with Speed?
I just remember, I think this being one of those like HBO VHS greatest hits tapes, if I remember correctly. But this was being like one of those rare action movies that like Mom liked,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But you gotta think, like, from what I remember of this, Speed was like an event. This thing was a huge hit, and then like I haven't seen it in a while, so some of the scenes were like scrambled how I remember things.
Mhm.
Like I thought Harry died like right at the beginning kind of thing.
Oh,
Like I
okay, yeah.
thought that they did the siege on the house pretty early on. So
Right.
I was like, man, why is Jeff Daniels still alive? Forgot that it was like towards the end. But like for me, I had said last year, 2 years ago, I'd watched Blown Away for the first time after Charlie had covered it.
Yeah.
And I got to eat crow because I remember texting like, I think I like Blown Away better than Speed. Nope, Speed's way better. Speed is way, way better.
That
oh
was,
my God, I'm an
that
idiot.
was a very controversial
I'm an idiot. It's
chat
been
you
so
sent
long.
me. While Blown Away was a surprisingly
It's a good movie.
Really great. I mean, better than
man.
I remembered.
And like the thing about these like early 90s, mid 90s movies, unlike today, like especially like this year is a perfect example. You only had like 2 to 3 blockbuster movies a year.
And they weren't always action movies. Like
and they
they would
felt
just be
like a huge event.
Yeah.
And now this year it's like every weekend there's a new big movie coming out to where like you can't make it to the theater because every movie has to up the ante. Every movie has to be the biggest, $200 million budget thing. But Speed was just kind of like this fun action movie. Like,
right.
And then kind of from there, like I kind of regret not revisiting this much, especially after rewatching it. Like the score was amazing and everything. Like I was blown away, like right from the beginning. I was like, holy shit, Speed has got like top tier quality to it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Pete, what about you, brother? When was the first time you saw Speed?
I did see this in the theaters when it came out. It was probably, it was over the summer, so I was home from college, and I might have gone to see it with Dad. Maybe the whole family went to go see it. I don't exactly remember, but I do remember really enjoying it. Much like a Demolition Man, it was that fun early '90s action. That I mean, Speed took itself a little more seriously than Demolition Man did, but at no time did I think it was trying to be too dark. It was just a fun action movie. They were real people. You didn't have any caricature action dude. You didn't have your Arnolds or anybody like that. You didn't have something that was larger than life. You had Keanu, who was testing the waters in action at that point in time in his career. I think he was still mostly known for Bill and Ted at that point. I'm sure he had a few other credits.
He had Point Break before this.
Oh, was Point Break before this one? Okay.
Point Break was before this, but other than some smaller like bit roles and some things, this was Ted.
I thought he held his own. I thought he did a great job. I thought everyone did. This is what Sandy Bullock's second big movie after Demolition Man. Actually, I keep going back to that. It was, and one of my favorite parts about Sandra Bullock is that she's not really a damsel in distress. She's part of the story. She's not getting saved. She's working with, she's driving the bus and she's not doing the saving, but she's part of the solution
she's integral to
instead of getting in the way and making things more difficult for others. I like that. That's a very interesting, for the time, a female character. They were very much damsels in distress for a very, very long time. And this one definitely was not. I really thought that was I don't want to call it woke, but it was definitely a different approach to it.
It was a refreshing change because you're right. Because the cliche was guy saves girl. Yep. That was just always how action movies or adventure movies or anything like that.
They were definitely working together. They had to.
Yeah.
They were forced to do so.
I definitely want to get more into that. But we have one more person we got to talk to. Troy, what is your first experience with Speed?
My first experience with Speed was watching it last night. I had never seen it.
It just blows my mind that you went this long.
Wow.
That's what I'm using this podcast for. Every time you guys talk about one where you're like, we're going to do this one. I'm like, I haven't seen that one yet.
So that's how the negotiations
what a great
went
excuse
down.
to come
there
on
you go,
fast, man.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it, and it was actually the first rated R movie last night that my daughter's ever seen.
Oh,
she sat down and watched it with us.
That's great.
So
wait, did she watch? Wasn't Beastmaster rated R?
No, PG.
PG.
No. Oh,
it was PG.
Okay,
I know.
This is much more a PG movie than Beastmaster.
Right, I was about to say that's the difference between a 1980s PG and a 1990s R, I think.
Mark Singer wasn't running around dropping F-bombs, but it was just
Yeah, that's it.
boobs
But
and
there were
blood
boobs
and everything else in Beastmaster.
Beasts and
That's
boobs.
awesome that this was Millie's first
That's
R-rated
wonderful.
movie.
Yeah.
I am
What
so.
did she think? What did she say?
Oh, she loved it. She's like, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think she
Yeah.
might have even been a little nervous because we'd kind of made like, it's rated R, but I think you can handle it.
Yeah.
You're old enough now to start seeing some of these. So, yeah, she was into it. She dug it.
Awesome.
It's definitely like that opening scene with the elevator is intense. So I
think
imagine
so.
like
Yep.
being a kid, like that has gotta be like
Oh,
nail biting, you know?
You couldn't have pried me away from the television screen when I first watched Speed. I was hooked dead on. So while Troy had his, Millie's first, I had an interesting evening watching this movie last night. So as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm still out of town as we record these. So I'm up here working with my buddy Rob. And I was like, hey, I got to watch this movie before, the podcast. We're going to watch Speed. And he goes, yeah, I remember Speed. Yeah. So we're sitting there watching it. And he goes, I definitely remember this because the first time I watched it was with you and your dad in Ohio.
Cool.
And
Nice.
I was like, that's right. I had just got the DVD player and I got Speed on DVD. And so we all sat down in my basement in Ohio. And it was like the first time Rob got to see Speed because he was remembering stuff. And it was funny. He'd never seen Waterworld, and we watched it earlier that day in the background. And he was like, I kept remembering that one scene in Speed, because it's Dennis Hopper again. And he's got the whim of a madman. And Rob was just keep repeating that. And he was like, oh, that's right. That's in this movie. I was like, yep. So it was really cool to like re-experience that again and remember that. I was like, this is how. Like, I've watched this movie probably once a year, if not more. I can watch it anytime. I even bought the Fox re-release when they put Deadpool on all the slip covers. And I have
the bus on that cover?
No, he's like the half-face Keanu Reeves.
Okay,
look.
I gotcha.
But
it was behind him.
Yeah, I had got that, Terminator and Predator were like, because they were all owned by Fox, and that's who was doing Deadpool. So it was, he's not in the movie and he's not actually on the DVD, but it's a slipcover they put on him. And I was like, that's how I got the Blu-ray of Speed. I was like, well, I'm going to get it with Deadpool. It's awesome.
Why not?
Nice.
But yeah,
well, Speed just brings everyone together.
It does, man.
Sure. Yes.
Go ahead, Troy.
Listen, I wasn't this comes from an era where action movies were going over the top. Like everybody was on a motorcycle outrunning an explosion. There was just like this, and I think for me, like Speed was a victim of its own success, where I was not expecting a fun movie. I was expecting outrunning explosions on motorcycles bullshit, and I hate that. So this is so much more fun than I was expecting. It's a blast.
It keeps you engaged from the beginning to the very end.
It doesn't stop. This movie,
it's action packed, but it's not. And I mean, there are moments where it's over the top ridiculous. I mean, like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Buses are not gonna do a jump across 50 feet.
Hey, MythBusters tested that. I think it failed, but
it failed.
MythBusters
it was catastrophic.
That was when it got to that point. I think that's when Rob goes, I watched this with you guys because he goes, I remember your dad talking about, well, how would the bus be at that angle? And he was like, well, the engine is in the back of the bus. It would have tilted, but the ground still would have needed to be a lot lower. And that's what like triggered that memory all of a sudden. He was like, oh yeah, the bus jump. I was like, this is great, man. I love it. But this is also, you got to remember, this was like studios going, holy crap, everybody watched Terminator 2. And it made a crap ton of money. We got to go big. We got to do all these amazing stunts and just
Thank God it was all
nonstop.
practical back then, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like, it's practical in miniatures, but I still consider that practical.
Oh, that's practical.
Even on the miniature side. Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's gunfire in this movie, but it's not like nonstop shootouts with one another. Like it's a time and a place.
They don't use it. And they don't use it as a crutch. That's another thing that a lot of movies would do is like just let's just throw 7 shootouts in this movie, and it ends up being a crutch.
The timing out a little.
It doesn't get monotonous. It was we were watching it last night. We were getting close to the end, and I said, you know what? I think I know how the pitch meeting went for this movie. And Rob's like, oh, really? I said, yeah. So I said, you imagine some guy, and he's like, okay, I got this idea. There's going to be this bomber, and he's going to put a bomb on an elevator, and there's going to be hostages. And then there's another guy in the room, and he goes, oh, yeah, I like that. Then what? Okay, then they save the hostages, get everything, and they stop the bomber, but he catches his partner, and they think they stopped the bomber by blowing him up. He's like, yeah. Then what? Okay, yeah. But now he's going to put a bomb on the bus because they actually didn't die. Holy crap. Then what? And if you watch this movie, every time something happens, you can imagine someone going, yeah, then what? Then they're on a bus. Then they get off the highway. Then they get on the highway.
There's the elevator, there's the bus, and there's a subway. It's very clear.
And the bus has its own mini scenes. And it's like, okay, we're on the freeway. Now we're downtown. Now we're on an abandoned freeway. It's not done yet. Okay, we get off that. Okay, now go to the airport. All right, now we're safe, but we just popped our tires. Okay, now we're going to go to circles. Now we're losing gas. Now we're going, and it's like, and then what? That is this entire movie.
Yeah,
that's going to be on the movie poster. Speed, and then what?
It was like an improv class where and then.
Dude, where's my car at the drive-in? And then no, and then.
No, there's an and then. She tries to jump out of the bus and it blows up, so it kills her. Like the movie, like it has all these different, like, scenery sets, the beats to it, and it all sticks out so damn well. And I mean, it takes what, like 35 minutes to even get to the damn bus?
Oh yeah, it takes
a minute.
I would say, yeah.
But it doesn't even, like, you're like, come on, get to the bus already. Like, no, like you're just
I hadn't seen
engaged.
this in a long time, and I couldn't believe how long that elevator scene was. I thought that was maybe a 10-minute scene. No, man, that's a solid
such a
20
damn
minutes
good
of
scene. Like,
I was about to say that
great
elevator
scene.
scene was almost as good as the bus. I totally enjoyed that.
Right. This
Like,
this is kind of similar to like what Nate and I talked about last week on the Expendables 2, how the beginning of the movie would be the end of any other action movie. The beginning of Speed is the climax of any other thriller type action movie.
Them rescuing the people off the elevator, but how much that elevator is falling apart, where you get like the shots from underneath the elevator with the floor missing to when one of the girls falls through that floor.
Falls through it,
but you see her legs get cut up. Like, it's such a good effect, and it happens so quickly.
Scraped. I was fully expecting those legs to come off.
That I think
it's a rated R movie. I thought
acknowledged
for sure.
it, because any other movie would not. A lesser movie would be like, oh yeah, she just fell through. This one's like, no, she fell through. She touched, sheet metal. She's gonna get cut.
I mean, I thought for sure she was gonna get her legs chopped
Well,
off.
he's talking about the last lady that comes off because
definitely
I think
her.
I said this in another episode where I'm like, there's even like an almost horror moment where it feels horror-esque, like you're trying to get her out, and like the elevator just wants to cut her in half.
Yeah.
But
I was expecting like from Cube, the last guy out of the thing.
Definitely.
Zach, as a matter of fact, that might have been the one I even mentioned it. Also, Troy's back for continuing the conversation.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it was because we did talk about that. But the way they set it up, is because it's like, okay, we're on top of it. There's a bomb. Now let's go up. There's a crane that just happens to be up there, but it can't hold the weight. It collapses.
That's
it's
all
just
ton of bullshit. That crane pissed me off so much.
It's such a chintzy crane.
That crane is up there to pull heavy shit up into the air.
But in the 90s, OSHA didn't really count.
Man, that thing was made out of styrofoam.
So, it was made out of styrofoam, but it was not.
So
it was
angry.
It was not a crane for building the building.
No.
Those type of cranes they put on buildings are actually for like HVAC units that are up there.
To me, that crane was for the window washer guys.
Yeah. Or the window washers would have
That's
those.
what I thought
So
was
that
for.
elevator was heavier than that.
I'm glad I'm not a window washer.
Yeah, I don't want to be a window washer.
I don't do heights. I do not do heights. No.
He's the tallest of us all.
Exactly. I'm terrified of heights, man.
funny.
But
Always a
it's
funny
just this movie is one of the greatest exercises of how to build tension and complete that tension, then give it right back to you. There is never a moment where I feel relaxed. Rob was talking like when it gets to right to the bus, he goes, I love how it's like he almost gets to the bus in time, but he just misses.
Just misses
Or he
it, yeah.
almost gets it before it goes 50 miles an hour, just misses. He's like, this is, we were just talking about this movie as we're watching and enjoying the hell out of it, but we're also just kind of like really deep diving. I wish we could have recorded him and me watching this and thrown this in here, because it was just like, it was just making my brain work even harder, where I'm not getting lost in the movie. I'm now like looking at different beats and scenes of this movie going, this is one of the greatest like high tension stress movies there is, with a ton of action, and I'm never bored. I'm never, only once or twice do I even go, oh, come on. It's like, oh, come on.
Oh, when the bus is hitting every like car, it's not hitting below 50. I'm like, no, it would definitely drop below 50.
We were pointing out every time where it goes, yeah, that bus ain't doing 50.
Definitely. Yeah, like, there ain't no way in hell. I got
way.
Like the balls on this movie, though, the giant balls to have.
Yeah, some big hairy cojones.
Big hairy cojones to show your hero meet the villain in the first act and have a face-to-face confrontation. Yeah, that's impressive to pull that off and make it believable for the villain to get away. I don't know how you pull that off. That is just brilliant writing.
That's really what it is. I mean, we're used to that. The beginning of the movie was the end of every movie. You killed the bad guy. He blew up. You saved your partner, even though you shot him.
Great.
You shoot a hostage. But
that was the beautiful head fake of this movie.
It was that's exactly what you should call it. It's the brilliant head fake of how, if this movie had just started with the bus thing, it's like, okay, why is this guy targeting Keanu Reeves? Why how do we get Keanu on this bus to actually care? And he says the perfect thing in this movie that I was like, that line is brilliant, and that explains this movie, is when he's talking to Sandra Bullock and she's like, why us? He goes, oh, it's not about you. He goes, I stopped him. It's about money. She goes, it has to be more about money. He's like, no, it's not. He goes, if he wins, he gets the money, he wins. If he blows up the bus, he wins. She's like, what happens if you win? He goes, we play the game again tomorrow. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what this, like, Keanu knows that he's got to try and save these people, but if he doesn't figure out how to stop this dude, there's another game he's going to have to play.
It's a Batman and Robin situation, or
totally.
Batman and Joker, not Robin.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a Batman and Robin. Robin finally snapped. He was just like, I'm tired of being with that stupid meme where he slaps me. I'm done. I'm over it.
Tired of these tights.
Why do I have to wear the short shorts?
The underoos? Yeah, look
you
at
know
me.
How much
He
I have
gets
to
all this
shave
body
down
armor
to put these little short shorts on.
He goes, look, man, I get it. I'm the bullseye. I'm the distraction for you, Batman. Jesus. I'm red, yellow, and green.
How many Robins have there been? Which one am I?
I don't remember.
We don't get different like aliases. We all have to take over that of the dead guy.
I have to say, that just reminded me. I watched Teen Titans Go with the kids all the time, and there's an episode where they're watching Batman's cave, like Batman's on vacation, and there's a bookshelf. There's a bookshelf with urns in the background, and one says Robin number 1, the other says Robin number 2, and then there's a crowbar sitting on there. And for those that read the Batman comic, where the Joker killed Robin with a crowbar, the crowbar is on the shelf. Jason Todd.
Jason Todd.
Which he came back, but yeah. So I watched that episode and was like, no, they didn't. My kids are oblivious. And my wife looks at me. She's like, what? And I had to tell her after, because I was not telling Liam. That's what the joke was.
Read The Killing Joke. Just read that.
Yeah, I have a death.
We voted for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's pretty insane.
He died by popular vote
because fans are assholes.
It's a more interesting story. I'm sorry.
Go humanity. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, back to Speed. That was our Batman.
This movie steps on the gas at the very beginning and just goes. And the thing, I had forgotten about this scene at the very beginning, and it made me laugh out loud. Where they get the call, all the cops are coming, and our heroes, Keanu and Jeff
Daniels.
Jeff Daniels, come flying in on a car and jumps a ramp or something to get there. They're coming so fast that this car out of nowhere they can't just drive up. They got to make sure that they show you these are our heroes.
They're the bomb squad, man. These are it.
They're the cool ones of the department.
That's right,
man. I wasn't prepared to see that, and it was amazing.
It's
I don't know why
it's
that tickled me so
intense.
much.
It's just you have to know who your leads are. That was your leads,
and from that point on, it just kept going and going. I mean,
right?
You think at some point it's going to slow down, but the snowball literally gets bigger.
It can't
and bigger.
slow down, Pete. It can't. It can't go below 55.
Yeah.
Speed.
It's in the title.
It's in the title.
It just goes.
And then they up the ante and speed too, because boats ain't got brakes.
No,
Boats
Nate,
don't have brakes.
no,
and they don't turn good either.
No, Nate, no.
Willem Dafoe.
We're doing speed.
It's got a Lost Boy in it.
We're doing speed.
Speed too.
Stop. We're doing speed. First one, Keanu Reeves. Keanu didn't do the second one.
Is this a Crystal Skull sort of reference where there's only one speed?
Pretty much. There's only one speed.
There's two speeds.
There's only one.
Sandy Bullock came back for it.
Sandy Bullock. You don't know. Let's talk about Sandy Bullock though, man, because that was another point of topic last night where we're both just going. She is just like the kid sister feel, the girl next door feel. And everything she's doing felt real. When she hit that baby carriage and she lets go of the steering wheel, she covers her face. I immediately went, that's exactly what Jackie would do.
Oh, sure.
Like it was just,
yeah.
But the look on her face was just pure shock and
killed a child. Yeah.
Almost wonder too if they threw a baby carriage.
See, I was wondering that
just
because
to get a reaction out of her, because like the way that she's acting, it's almost to the extent of they had to have set that up. They had to have set her up, right?
You didn't tell her that.
Yeah,
there wasn't no baby in it.
Well, no,
I don't
just
know.
like
I was
not having a baby carriage in general. I bet that scene was supposed to be a shopping cart or something, and then the day of filming, they probably swapped it out. But
I
then
could
also,
see that happening.
There's
yeah.
moments where you could definitely know it's not her driving the bus, and it's definitely a stunt driver who's strapped into that bus, because some of those shots are brilliant where it's like, that's a stunt dude.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Now, there are some other scenes in here that I'll give them credit for. We'll talk about when it gets towards the end. But
I'll tell you, a lot of this has to do with HD, though. It's like, yeah, we weren't supposed to see that.
Yes, the crutch of HD in a 94 movie. But
yes,
hit me, Troy.
Well, I was just gonna say that I'll tell you that, like, just being, like, actually hitting a baby carriage. I remember it made me think of when I was when Millie was a baby, tiny. I walked into the basement one day, and we had this fake baby doll.
Oh no!
But Kathleen thought I had Millie, and I walked in and I accidentally dropped it just to make her think that I had dropped the baby. And as soon as I did it, I know it's a baby doll, and I instantly, my guts just fell through the floor. I wanted to puke, knowing I know I dropped a baby doll. But it made me sick just pretending to do it. And Kathleen about
fantastic.
How are you still alive?
Yeah. I know she wanted. She actually. I don't think I fooled her as much as I fooled myself into doing it.
That is awesome. That's terrifying and awesome at the same time.
Yeah,
but,
The wrath of Kathleen is real.
Right.
Don't
but
poke
I
that
mean,
bear.
Even if they have gotten that reaction, however they did, there's other points of her acting in here, like when the lady gets blown up and Keanu, like, she's doing the breakdown, she's crying and she's like, I'm happy, he's like, you're just happy it wasn't you, and she's just crying, and it's like, I believe that, like, at no point do I feel like she's either overacting or I'm just watching some kind of generic action movie. I was actually like in it. I was in this seat. I was on that bus. This last night, I still had those, like, adrenaline and, anxious feelings. And I can recite this movie almost word for word. I've seen it so many times, but I still just got so sucked into it. I care about every passenger. It's like I love, we'll call him Cameron, the dude from Ferris Bueller's Day Out. I love it.
That's where he was from. It was driving me nuts. I'm like, why does this guy
I
look
put that
so
in the
damn
Slack
familiar?
chat.
That's
dude.
why Pete yelled, "It's Cameron!" And
I thought he was talking about just a random Cameron.
no, not that Cameron. Oh, but the interplay between like Cameron and Ortiz as the movie goes, where they just have those little back and forths, and then Ortiz is one of the people that pull Cameron into the other bus. It just finishes all of the little points it creates, and it gives you this closure to a lot of it, man. It's just so only thing I wish we would known is how Sam was doing at the end of this movie. Like, I wish someone would have asked and been like, he's stable, he's at the hospital, he's good.
Oh, he's stable. Okay,
Yeah, that's all I would have needed to hear.
Yep.
And because I am invested in every character on this bus. They do really well of these people feeling like just normal people that get on a bus to go to work. And they're also integral. I mean, they pull Keanu from underneath the bus, and
talk about stressful.
Yeah,
when he's under the bus on that shop cart or whatever it was.
Yeah,
my butt was fully puckered. There was
I was waiting for a wheel to catch him.
And they show
so damn close to the wheel.
He's right there. I was just looking it up. He did 90% of his own stunts in this movie.
Was he legit under the bus for that? Because that's
I think if he was, it would have been one of the controlled scenes just to show that he's physically under it. God. But again, that's another scene with Sandra Bullock where she is freaking out and panicking, like yelling at people. See if he came out the back. See if he can, get her. She is just like, you think she's truly living through this the way she acts in here. And I don't want to knock anyone, I'm not even going to knock Keanu because, Keanu has his acting style. You watch a Keanu movie, it's pretty much how he is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way to put it, where I'm like, this maybe isn't bad acting. This is just Keanu.
It's Keanu. But I will say that moment, like when he gets off the phone with the bomber thinking it was his partner and finds out that he's dead, and he goes into like that rage.
Oh yeah,
he's just like,
starts.
I'm buying it. Like all of a sudden you realize, holy crap, Keanu Reeves is cut. His arms and the veins are popping out because I'm sure he did
that was 30 pounds on for this film. Yeah,
but we don't get. Go ahead, Troy. Yeah,
well, I was going to say this feels a little bit different from your normal Keanu, just because there is no dude to his acting in this one. He's playing it fairly straight.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was different, and honestly, I think it worked really well for him.
Well, I mean, for coming off of Point Break, which was very dude, you could understand how it went from Bill and Ted to Point Break. It's like, okay, this makes sense. I buy this. And then to see Speed, where it's like, okay, it's still there. Like I would not have been shocked if he had said, even jokingly, to like one of the other cops or something at the party, like, whoa, just anything. But he doesn't, man, and I really dig his.
Is that his? I'll be back.
Exactly. Whoa.
Yeah,
it's really his. I'll be back. That's his. But it's like we watch him now. Like now, Keanu Reeves is still relevant. He is John Wick. I mean, that's a new character that he's known for. But this guy has gone from Neo to John Wick to all these known for his characters.
The fascinating part. Like he has followed like us growing up. So for me, like Bill and Ted, then onward to Speed, and then onward to Matrix, and then for a while there was a gap, but then John Wick. So it's just like Keanu's definitely been ingrained into our lives as like movie viewers.
That goes right into where I feel like this is my generation's action movie. He's one of my generation's actors. It just always had him. It's kind of like, the Coreys or the Sean Astons. They feel like ours. Cameron in this movie would have felt like an early, like Pete's or Troy's, because a Ferris Bueller was like the big thing at about your teenage years, when Speed was my teenage years, just rolling into it.
It's just crazy to see an actor like be able to still remain relevant, you know? Like Tom Cruise is probably one of the last like movie stars, you know, like,
that's
bigger than life.
Tom Cruise has even gone like he's able to generational jump, you know, where he's like been known for super early stuff. Then he was still big in the 90s. Then he still was relevant in the 2000s. And now it's like he has somehow been able to maintain it.
And I think that's something you have to remind yourself of, like us being like these movie dorks. Like, you know, you have the people that aren't, hey, we're dorks. Sometimes like when I mention movies that we, you know, cover on the show to people, and there's like, I don't know who that is, or I don't know what that is. And my first reaction is like, what the hell you mean? Like, how do you not know this person? It's like,
what have you done with your life?
Yeah.
God,
it's like, oh, wait, I'm the dork. This makes sense. But like certain people can transcend that, where it doesn't matter. You just know who that is.
Right.
Yeah. And hey, let's give it up for Sandra Bullock too, who's still out rocking it 30 years later.
She is still considered America's sweetheart to this day.
I saw her in Ocean's 8. I thought she was banging in that. She did so good, but I haven't seen her anything recently.
I think the last thing I watched was Bird Box, and I absolutely hated that movie.
Oh, Bird Box was not her fault, but
no,
I
it was
didn't
not.
like that.
It was just a weird.
There was something where she was like in a jump, like this sequin jumper in the jungle with John Cena or something.
Oh yeah, I want to see that with Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, that was it.
Yeah,
and it looked pretty good. I just hadn't.
It did. That actually looked funny. I just didn't watch it.
One of my favorite, most recent ones she did was Heat with Melissa McCarthy, which was basically an action movie, action comedy. I'll watch that thing over and over again. But, you know, she was also one of those ones that, like, when Jackie would want to watch, say, like Miss Congeniality or something like that, I'm like, okay, I'm in, because I thoroughly enjoyed those movies.
I didn't watch that for years. Jody made me sit down and watch it. I'm like, okay, I get it.
And it's good.
It's good. It's fun.
It's
funny.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it's got its own little level of action to it. You know, just cop and everything. But I love Sandra Bullock, man. And like Pete had said, she was in Demolition Man. So it's like, again, I felt like she was an actor of my generation that, you know, she kind of came in as I was just starting to watch movies and get involved in them.
So like of her ilk, like Pam Anderson is that super hot chick, you know, in high school, and you're just slobbering all over yourself watching her walk by. You know, you got no chance. Zero. Sandra Bullock is the gal that you've known since you were a kid, and I've always had a crush on her, but you didn't always know you had a crush on her. And it turns out that she is exactly what you need. Maybe you went out on a date with Pam Anderson and you're like, oh, crazy, might be good in bed, but it's not a formula for happiness,
right?
But then you meet up with Sandy Bullock, and then that's like, this is who this completes me.
I like that. I like that's a really good analogy about how, because she pulls that off in this movie. She's not like cleavage hanging out or
she's
know,
going
trying
to
be like she's going to work. You know, she's
going out,
you know, got shorts on with a flannel tied around it, you know, with a sweatshirt. You know, there's nothing they're trying to pull off like sexually with her, but she just has this aura and this look. She's very captivating, and it's all like facial features and everything. You know, she's just got this look about her.
Now we would all be eating these words if Barbed Wire 2 would have happened.
Why did Barbed Wire 1 happen?
I could have picked that for the month of action.
I keep wanting to cover it because I wasn't allowed to watch it.
It's on the list, but we just haven't picked the time to actually do it. Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't allowed to watch it, so I want to watch Barbed Wire. Just like how Troy jumped on Speed because he's never seen it. That's my Speed. It's Barbed Wire.
I haven't seen Barbed Wire either. Anyway.
I have.
Oh boy. Yeah, of course you have.
We'll watch Tank Girl right after. So
that's what I want to do.
I could do Tank Girl. I like Tank Girl.
Yeah. I think that would be
that was a lot of fun. That's my kind of weird.
That's when 90s studios just didn't care and threw money at anything. It's awesome.
That's how we got David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. So there's a lot of wild stuff happening in the 90s.
That's 100% true. Although
right about the same time.
as far as the comic books are concerned, he looks a lot more like Nick Fury than Sam Jackson.
Because of the Ultimates line.
But Sam Jackson totally is Nick Fury.
David Hasselhoff looked like the Howling Commando Nick Fury that we grew up with. And then, the shift when the Ultimates started drawing him as Sam Jackson. So it was like, let's just.
Why didn't he
just
show up in the multiverse? Come on. It was right there.
Come on.
They should let it happen in Secret Invasion. I think
but like
great.
in Doctor Strange, you could have had Professor X,
and
David Hasselhoff, then Mr. Fantastic.
I would have been down. Would have been the best movie ever.
That would have been like the stand up and applauding in the theater.
100%.
It's like, everyone talks about Cap when he wielded Mjolnir. When David Hasselhoff showed up.
And there's all these viral videos of the whole crowd just throwing their popcorn, losing their mind. The Hoff is back.
The super nerds would lose their minds. I mean, this is
totally down for that.
The Gen Zers would be like, who the hell is this guy?
I got excited when Daredevil showed up in the Spider-Man movie and like no one else did. I went, oh boy.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, I went, I did the little, it's
Charlie Cox.
And I went, okay, we're all not on that. That's cool.
This is how good the movie is. We've gone past our normal commercial time, so let's go ahead and hit us a commercial. Get right back into the
Is
speed.
It
What do you
Speed
say?
2?
No, stop it, Nate.
Nate, I'm gonna get you. Shut your filthy whore mouth.
Is this thing on? Oh, hey, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kev. We're the hosts of Sons and Shadows, a podcast of two regular guys talking about our favorite canceled TV shows and movies.
We're all about having a good time, remembering these shows, and exploding your mind.
Come over and check out Sons and Shadows on all podcatchers or directly at sonsandshadows.com.
Because we're
filthy and fine.
Prepare for the most advanced Hot Wheels ever. It's Top Speed. Track not included. Challenge the triple threat set. 3 sets in one. You put it together. 1 Top Speed Spiral. 2 Top Speed Leaps.
Yes!
3 Top Speed Loops. Triple threat. Hot Wheels Top Speed Triple Threat set comes with 1 car and launcher, other sold separately for use only with Top Speed cars.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
I had literally searched around to find a commercial that said speed the most amount of times I could. And I was like, Hot Wheels. They have to have it.
That makes sense. I'm kind of surprised there are no speed toys.
For
How
as
much
many
money
of we
this movie made, I'm kind of
But
amazed.
what do? Do you have a remote, an RC bus or something? That's
yeah.
Here's a bus. Here's Keanu. Here's a guy with explosions.
Hot Wheels totally could have made a track where the bus jumps a 50 centimeter gap or something like that.
My God, that would have
Dennis
been amazing.
Hopper comes with like TNT that like you press down and water squirts on you.
They could have used the Dennis Hopper toy from Waterworld and just cut a couple fingers off of it. It totally would have been fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're saying this and someone's going to be like, hey, guys, they made it. Because how many movie toys have we been finding lately?
Yeah, but I'm not finding anything on speed. I'm trying.
We haven't
It's
told
rated
everybody that during our outing that me, Pete, and Nate went on, I found the best toy ever, much to the chagrin of Nate, that I had no idea this was even made. But they made action figures for the movie Virus with Jamie Lee Curtis. And you buy them all and you build the giant monster at the end. And Nate hates this movie. Charlie bought the figure.
I think this is Nate's Twister. Troy.
Really?
Yeah, it could very well be.
But I was like, who makes toys for Virus?
It was a local dude, wasn't it? Didn't somebody say it was a local dude?
The sculptor for the toy was a local guy.
Oh,
it was a legit release. Like it was, I think it was the same.
They were sold in Toys R Us.
Probably. They look when I got the package home, it looked like the same package my Last Action Hero and Demolition Man characters came out of. So it may
those
be the
cards
same.
were all probably coming from the same company at that
right.
point.
But yeah, I would have
Where
bought
it's like the
Speed.
adult
You
line.
probably
like
got
for-
those at Waterbeds and stuff, Troy.
Probably.
Beds and stuff. I remember that.
stuff.
Water
Was-
beds and stuff.
That was behind the beaded curtain, by the
Uh-huh.
way. That's where you
I think
found
I only
those.
ever went into one of those. It was just like
Disappointing.
It was disappointing. It was also just mostly hippie shit.
They don't sell beanbag chairs. I
Hey,
went
you-
in there last summer to get a beanbag chair. They're like, yeah, because of shipping costs, we don't sell them. I'm like, but I want a beanbag chair, damn it, for my
They were
gaming
like-
room.
They were like, "Do you want a water bed? Because we have water beds
Right,
and
right.
stuff. It's just the stuff isn't beanbags."
It's not stuff.
Yeah. I thought stuff was a wild variety of collectible things.
But what was that word?
Shut
I
up!
love you, Nate. I love you, Nate.
He's like, I said, shut up.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, shut up.
All right, boys, back to Speed, man. Back to
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie that is literally a summer blockbuster. I went ahead and I looked up while we took the break because I was curious. I was like, what came out in 94 to go against it?
Oh,
And
okay.
our first Ace Ventura movie came out in February of 94.
Has not aged well.
Beverly Hills
it
Cop
was-
3.
Ugh.
Maverick. I enjoy Maverick.
Okay.
It's a
I
good
like
movie.
Maverick. That's a hoot. That's a good time.
The Crow,
Oh,
which is
wow.
amazing.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice.
Phantasm 3.
Yeah.
I
Remember,
get behind that
that's
one.
Yeah.
Horror.
Disney's Lion King.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never seen that in theaters.
Now this is I didn't realize this was in 94 and looking this up, The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Oh, Jim Carrey, sure. I
Now,
love that. It's
that-
not a good movie, but
Well, it was for 14-year-old Charlie because this was the first movie I got to go watch by myself in the theater.
wow.
So my mom used to set up for quilt guilds, and then they would have like a big show, and they had got a space in the Bristol Mall when I was growing up. So I had to go help set up, and it was because I was tall, because they would put them up on the big racks and hang them vertically. All the little old
They
ladies
hang
would
the
say,
the quilt's on you. You'd extend your arms like this, and they just
one
you
lady
hold the
there
quilts.
refused to learn my name and would just go, "Hey, you tall boy, come here."
Oh,
And
wow.
so we had
How
just
old
got
was
done.
she?
I don't remember.
Oh, old
She's-
enough that she's allowed to.
She's probably dead by now. But you started it.
Joke's on her. You're the one living and it's tall.
But we had got done setting it up, but mom had to be there for like another few hours, and they had the theater down there, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Can I go watch a movie?" And mom's like, she's just kind of like, "Well, at least I would know where you are," because I was in the arcade back and forth, and I watched The Mask, the first time by myself at the theater, and I didn't even realize it was 1994 until I looked all this up.
Yeah, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah,
that got me into swing bands. Whew.
That's good stuff. True
I
Lies
dove
came out in 94.
hard into ska. And
Really?
swing.
True Lies was 94?
True
It was
Lies.
like 98.
Jamie Lee and Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natural Born Killers.
Wow.
Airheads came out.
Oh,
in
Nate's
94.
favorite.
Love
Oh yeah,
Airheads.
we love that one.
I've not seen that one.
Time Cop. Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Whoa.
New Nightmare came out in 94.
That still blows my mind because I always felt like that was 99 or something.
Star Trek
Yeah.
Generations. 94 was when the big crossover with the Next Generation and the Star Trek
Wow.
movies.
Okay.
I thought it was later too.
That seems early.
Double
Yeah.
Dragon.
Ooh, we don't talk about Double Dragon.
Street Fighter.
Ah.
We
And
can talk about Street Fighter.
Jeff Daniels had another movie out that year.
Don't say it's
Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber came out in December.
Damn, 94 was a big year for Jim Carrey.
Well, okay.
Good Lord.
We should go back to 1984. I think that also had a ton of bangers. Like what is
Probably.
with? Yeah, well, that's the year Ghostbusters came out. I think there was like
Oh, that's right.
bunch of movies that year. Was like maybe Back to the Future came out that year too, and was that 86 maybe?
Ghostbusters was my first theater experience.
Oh, very cool.
That's so cool.
That opening scene is still scary, man.
Terrified me.
Yeah,
Terrified
You,
me.
as a child. You
Yeah.
are pooping your pants.
My parents brought my aunts. Of course, they were like teenagers when they did this,
Mhm.
and I think a Karate Kid had come out. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 come out.
Mhm.
And I remember this. I was 4, and I remember the conversation. And it was, Charlie, you get to pick. Do you want to go watch the movie with your Aunt Nellie and Dottie, or do you want to come with Mom and Dad and watch Ghostbusters? And I think it was just mostly because I wanted to go with Mom and Dad. You know, it was a
Don't make
theater,
me
dark.
pick.
And well, I had no concept.
Sure,
And
sure.
I went in and I watched Ghostbusters, and it scared the
Fantastic.
ever living shit out of
It should have at
that
4.
the
Absolutely.
library, I can't even say library.
I know you.
The
It's such a dirty
library.
word for you. You can't even say
The
it.
no naughty word.
And the
That's Charlie's Twister.
That's it. And the terror dogs literally caused terror in me. I mean, it was just, and I have a very visceral memory of watching that movie and just scared the hell out of me. It was insane. Wow, man, I got a lot going on here for some firsts this episode.
One movie from 1994 that you left off for some reason that
I skipped
remember
over a
seeing
lot
in theaters.
What was it?
What was it?
The Next Karate Kid.
Oh yeah, I did skip over that one. I was like,
that-
nobody wants to talk. It's Hillary Swank, wasn't it?
Yep.
That,
I
but
remember
that
going
wasn't
to see that in theaters with like my aunt and uncle.
that wasn't Jackie Chan and Will Smith or something. Was
No,
it?
no.
This was Hillary Swank.
Yep.
They brought out
It
the
still
girl.
had Mr. Miyagi in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat Morita.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
I
a
also
cool dude.
skipped over Legends of the Fall. Did you have some kind of tie to that movie too with Brad Pitt?
Oh, that's just a really beautiful
That
movie.
was when I wanted to punch Brad Pitt in the face. I'm like, hey, pretty
Yeah,
boy.
because he's so gorgeous in that movie.
It's you're not wrong. You're
That hair.
spot on. That
My
hair,
God.
them eyes. Like,
Also, The Professional
Wow.
came out that year.
oh,
I didn't,
So good.
I didn't see that on there.
Yeah, Professional was 94, sir.
What month? Because it's not on my list.
November.
November? That's not on my list.
Oh, your list is dumb because it left off The Next Karate Kid and The Professional.
Star Trek Generations, Interview with a Vampire, The Santa Claus, and
Oh.
Double Dragon came out in November.
Interview with a Vampire. I dressed up like a vampire and went to the theater to watch that.
Oh,
You
wow.
dork! You
Oh
dork!
yeah, oh yeah.
You
'Cause
know
I-
this is out there.
I
I
had-
won't edit that.
I had
right?
read these books, and we were going, like, my girlfriend at the time, we were going to a formal the next day.
I'll
And
be at
we
the
already had
masquerade, my sweet.
So minus the coat, I had the cummerbund and it was a vest. I had a vest, and we went and got these floofy shirts and shit.
Yeah, you're wearing a pirate shirt from Seinfeld.
Pretty much. Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
here, have
Pretty
my
much.
vial of blood. You will be known as Pata.
And we so then we had a few beverages beforehand, and I literally passed out in the middle of the film because it was so flippin' boring.
Oh my God. Yep, that's out there in the ether now.
When you become,
Please tell me there's a picture somewhere.
yeah, I need a picture. Pete.
I have a picture. I know I have a picture somewhere.
Here's us
I can
cosplaying
I
for
can
Interview
visualize
with a
the
Vampire.
picture. It was myself and my girlfriend and my roommate, and the three of us went there, and all three of us dressed up. And
Oh man, that's
my
great.
my roommate found a pair of vampire teeth, and he wore that in there. And like, you're going too far, dude.
Oh, that's
Right.
where it went too far.
That's too far.
Yeah, that was
crossed
too
the
far.
line. Wow.
Oh,
That's.
He dressed up as
Hey,
Brad
can we talk
Pitt.
about something
You
else,
dressed
please?
up as Tom Cruise.
I don't know if we can go back to Speed after that. Jesus. I don't
Yeah.
know. Wow.
let's
That's
talk about a bus jumping a 50-foot
the 50-foot
50
gap
foot,
in the
50
highway. But it's done. It's done on the map. It says so right
I
here.
love that. That's what.
I guess
that was
they
the
fell
dude from Terminator, right?
behind. Yeah, that's
The-
Miles
or Terminator
from
2. Yeah,
Yep,
the guy from
Terminator
Skynet. Yep.
2. He
Yeah,
was
I recognize
also
him.
in Executive Decision, also as a bomb technician
Oh,
with
So
Kurt
he's got
Russell
a-
and Steven Seagal.
he's
Yeah,
been
he's kind of got a
typecast.
thing. Yeah, I like that guy. He's a good
Oh,
actor.
yeah,
yeah,
that guy's
he's-
great,
he's
especially
great.
in Terminator 2.
there
like,
there were no bad performances in this.
No.
film.
I will
No-
only call him out on one dumbass moment that they have
Oh.
is why in God's green earth, if an elevator is going to crash would you all be standing outside those elevator doors
Yes.
That's a
on
very
the
good
floor
point.
it's
Yep.
supposed to land on?
Yep.
That way you can
You know,
catch it. Duh.
Yeah, because like it didn't fall as far as it was going to, but I'm sure it would have caused some damage because look what it did then. And then I love the other guy going, "This is usually the part where they fall down." I'm like, how many of these have you seen?
Yeah.
That
Sadly,
guy
more
needs
than one.
investigated because he did not sound shocked, or he sounded too shocked. This is normally where it falls down. But like I said, I would have to magnifying glass nitpick this movie to death. But the chasm jump, while anyone in their right mind, even the shot they show of the interchange, it flattens out. It goes straight. Rob and I are watching this going, how are they going to make us believe it? And then all of a sudden, when the bus leaves the ground, it's like running over some shit as if it's a ramp. And I'm like, that wasn't in the shot before.
Yep.
But you could nitpick even further though, because they're like, it's 3 miles until the bridge is out. We just found out because the helicopter's above us.
Right.
And I'm just like, your helicopter pilots are terrible because they should have instantly been like, bridge is out.
Bridge is out, to a U-turn. But they also say like you've got 3 miles. They're going 50 miles an hour. You've got 3.5 minutes.
It's because they Rob pointed this out. He goes, I would do like 51. Give me the most amount of time, conserve the most amount of fuel, give me plenty of time to react to things. Because there's times they're doing 70, 80, 60. Also, they show this shot of where all the cops like break off, like, good luck. And the bus is
you're on your own.
The bus keeps going. If you look off to the corner, this is the bad part of HD on widescreen. I'm like, that's just a concrete barrier blocking the rest of the freeway that is still intact. You guys couldn't have ran a vehicle through it ahead of the bus to knock out that one little concrete barrier so the bus could keep going. Thanks, HD. You really took the mystery out of this movie for me when I was a kid. It's like, no, this bus actually jumped it. Now I'm riding the school bus the next day going, I hope that bridge by my house is out.
Because we're going to make it. And we got to go through like a turn. We're all going to go to the left of the bus.
Okay.
Awesome.
Another HD moment that I just do it because I always look at the vehicles right before a stunt happens. You know, when it's tipping up onto 2 wheels, you can actually see in the middle of the bus, they had made a cylinder that had a wheel on it right in the center, and it was pushing the bus up off so it's still on wheels, but the 2 side wheels are raising up off the air, and I could see it. I was like, oh, that's how they did the stunt. So they really did tip a bus, but they cheated and had it safe.
I don't see you tipping a bus anytime soon.
Right.
I would try. I would be in a bus.
A
van is like a little bus. You know, I'd be totally fine.
I saw a sort of a making. Oh, well, there's a making of on YouTube, and it's garbage because it's a made-for-TV making of.
It was like those HBO behind the scenes. Is
Exactly.
What it felt like.
I always liked watching those though.
Because they were like before the internet. Clearly,
yeah.
They would release these on regular television as a half an hour spot to.
They would usually
time filler.
They would play it before either a new movie came to theaters or a premiere on Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because I remember my dad would not watch them if he hadn't seen the movie before. He was
just like me watching a trailer. I don't.
Yeah, he's like, Dad's like, I don't want to. He goes, I don't want to watch it till we see the movie, and then we would go back and watch all those like behind the scenes things. So it's kind of cool to remember those kind of things.
There was a very cool they showed how they jumped the bus, and it was a clever shot where the bus literally jumped. They had a ramp for the said bus, and they didn't expect it to go as far as it did.
Nice. So you're saying there's a chance.
You're right. And even part of it, like they admitted, like the bus even went out of frame for a moment, or outside of the frame they were expecting it to go. It was so much fun to see this big ass bus jump a ramp, and it flew about 10 feet or so and came crashing down.
That's still cool.
Pieces flew off of it. It was so cool. It was so much
that's
fun.
the one BS thing I will always call out on movies. Cars never land that nice. They are never still functional after they nose end off of a big jump. You know how many Dukes of Hazzard cars that show went through? I'm sorry.
Per episode.
Per episode. So it's like, I can't believe it. Or I kept like trying to find like bad edits of the bus, and I only caught one where they forgot to put the zoo sign that was cockeyed on the side of it. There was only one shot it was missing on, because I went, they're being realistic, and they went through a bunch of stuff and it fell off, and then the very next shot it's back on, and I went, that was just continuity error, damn it. I hate when they do that. No, everything with the bus scene's amazing, but the movie doesn't end on a bus scene. It ends on a subway,
which felt tacked on. Like to me, that whole subway thing felt like what you were saying earlier, Charlie. And then, did you need a third act like that?
In my research, Speed ran out of money. So they filmed up to the subway scene. So when they did test screenings for audiences, they only had pencil animations, and they had animated the subway scene at the end of the movie. People lost their mind, and it convinced the studio to throw more money at to make it happen. So it kind of feels like it's a totally separate movie, because it kind of is. They went back and filmed all of that with the subway. I think my only real complaint was, so their plan to get out of this is to speed the subway train up,
to jump the
track, but it doesn't actually jump the curve he's showing. Yeah, go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, it just doesn't work,
because they end up going through the construction part where it was on the thing. If it had jumped the curve, that's a wall where the subway curves. It's not like it's a field and they're going to land nicely in the grass and everything. No, if the subway curves, it's because there's a wall right in front of you. And their whole plan is to jump. And there's one, again, never notice it till I'm watching it on HD, right before it comes up through the street. If you look at the construction workers on the street, you see them brace and get ready to react for the subway train to fly over their heads. So I was like, those guys are getting ready, and there it goes, and they're all reacting. It's kind of wild to happen.
Well, they obviously heard it coming, Charlie.
Sure.
Yeah, heard that train a coming.
You would have heard it.
So when the train came through the subway station, I suppose, as it kind of spun out and hit a bunch of posts. Was that a miniature set, or was that a full set?
That was a miniature.
Okay,
that's what I thought.
Beautiful.
Watching.
It was
it was great. The way that it broke off in certain pieces.
Yeah,
too.
it felt real. It had weight to it. It felt like it was. It had sound and depth to it. Where a lesser film would have cheapened out on that set, and it would have felt flimsy.
It would have felt like your toy train set.
Right. And this
and then they tried
felt
to
like
add.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
It had. Once again, it had weight to it. That's part of the problem with these giant monster movies I watch a lot of the times. When a monster stomps down and all these cars kind of flip and turn over, and
they feel like there's
right
nothing there. Yeah,
right. And this definitely felt like it had substance to it.
Dennis Hopper being at the end, and I don't hate the way this movie ends in all reality, because Dennis Hopper is not going to be able to go toe to toe with young Keanu Reeves.
Nope.
It's just, he has to have the upper hand, which is what it turns into. It's only when he rages at the end that all of a sudden Dennis Hopper's on top of the train.
A person that's so calculated, though, he makes a lot of stupid decisions in the final 5 minutes of his life.
How would
when
you
he opens the bank bag and all the paint sprays in his face? I'm like, how'd you not expect that to happen?
I was thinking the same thing. You were on the bomb squad. You know all procedures.
You know how this works. Yeah.
You know they were going to put dye packs in there. And every time I watch these kind of movies with die packs, I go, it can't get on every bill. There's still some money to be made in there, I think. It's like there has to be something. But yeah, it's the frustration they try to get through that. That's why he loses it and goes after Keanu. I'm hyper focused on something completely different though. This entire scene is he's holding the trigger for the bomb, and I'm going, that's a spray gun. And I know that because I've been using a spray gun on this job. They took the tip off and they put a little red LED in the nozzle where the paint comes out, and they screwed boxes on it. And I looked at it and I said it to Rob, and he goes, damn, it is a spray gun. I was like, look, that's right there where you take it. He goes, that's exactly what that thing is. And then I'm like, why didn't they just use a remote control car controller? They wouldn't have had to go through all that shenanigans. They could have done the little trigger.
Spray bottles cheaper.
Somebody was just like, I have the perfect idea for a bomb trigger. Just let me do it.
Well, John Carpenter used Burger King boxes for one of his space movies earlier.
Oh, it's not John Carpenter. It was James Cameron worked on the movie for and the name just left
Star
me.
Crash, was it?
It was like Star Crash or one of those.
It was the one we saw, wasn't it? The Planet
Terror.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Battle Beyond, all of those.
Yeah.
I cannot think of the director's name.
McDonald's styrofoam boxes for
all of those. I want to say Cronenberg, and it's not Cronenberg.
Oh, Roger Corman.
I knew it had a C. There we go. Rest in peace.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah,
we got there, guys.
Sorry,
Sorry, Cronenberg's alive.
No, rest in peace, Cronenberg. It's totally fine.
God damn it.
Oh, but yeah, no, Speed's amazing. That's pretty much. Nate, do you want to talk about something?
I just got a question.
Ask away.
The I'm taller line. I don't get it.
Why don't you get it?
Why don't you? What's it got to do with anything?
Okay.
If you're taller, technically you're the one that's going to hit your head.
No. That's not it. It's
I
Dennis
missed
Hopper.
It.
It's
It went
Dennis
over
Hopper.
my head.
No. Dennis Hopper is on top of him.
Yep.
Punching him. And he goes, you know why I beat you? It's because I'm smarter. I'm smarter than you, Jack. I'm better prepared. He's doing all this stuff like I'm the best. I am this. And whenever he holds his head up to that red light and knocks his head off, Keanu just goes, yeah, but I'm taller, because it's all about what I am more than you are. And I am now taller than you because you don't have a head. Yeah. So he can be, I'm the best. I'm this, but I'm taller.
I get it now.
Thank you for explaining that. I was with you, Nate. I didn't get it either.
Yeah, when he said it, I was like, that's a terrible one-liner.
I was like,
it is the best one-liner. Are
well,
you
now it's
kidding
good.
me?
The one-liner that he says to Sandy Bullock, and he's like, yeah, he lost his head or whatever. I was like, that's a good one-liner.
Yeah, that's right up there with your discharge, Sarge. That's where's he at? He's around. That's exactly how.
That's a good one-liner.
That's an awesome one.
I love that. All right. Well, before we get into the things, we have homework that Pete has designated. Pete came up with this homework.
I gave homework.
So while we all know Speed involves a bus, Speed 2 unfortunately involves a boat. Pete came up with an idea of going, if we do Speed 3, where does it, what's part of Speed 3?
What's the vehicle?
What's the new vehicle?
And we all have quite a bit of answers, I feel.
We do. So I want to start with Troy. Troy, what is your Speed 3 vehicle?
I think every movie has to go bigger and bigger. The next one is Speed in Space. It's a rocket ship.
Oh, wow.
That's really good.
I should have made Troy go last. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
Troy
pretty
won
good.
already.
Damn it.
Speed in Space.
I'm totally down for speed.
I'm not sure what the contraption is where you have to make it like you have to make the rocket go faster.
Doesn't matter. It's in space, man. I'm totally down.
Yeah, we'll figure it out with rocket science jargon.
Basically, we'll just start talking through it and then just keep saying and then. And we'll just make the movie. That's how this works.
Whoa.
Whoa. I love it. Let's see. Nate. Let's let Nate go next.
Oh, all right. Mine was a tank. Because it cannot go below 25.
25.
I had to look up how fast a tank can go.
25. I've seen this movie, and it ends with the guy getting stuck on a median in the middle of the highway.
That wasn't a movie.
Surrounding.
That was a TV.
Oh, that really did happen, didn't it?
That's
That's right. That was a National
Nixon,
Guard.
Wrote a song about that, and it's amazing. So
yeah, it was a National Guard that got drunk or something, mad, and stole a tank.
King of the Hill did a parody
Nixon,
on it.
So
please
Nate,
go listen to Mojo
basically,
Nixon.
it could happen. So you're there. Space, we're working on it. Elon's got to get a little bit more testing done before we end up.
Yeah. Tank control.
Tank control. All right, Pete, this was your idea.
I got two.
All right, I like it.
I got two. So neither of them are very good.
That's
because they're not well thought out.
After space,
it's all downhill.
Troy killed it.
So my first one is a ski gondola. So
is that the thing that skiers ride up the hill?
Yeah. Well, okay. So a gondola, like the ones I've experienced in Colorado, and I know that there are others in like the Swiss Alps that will go for miles, and you can fit like 4 to 8 people in them, and you go, and they are usually very fast, not 60 miles an hour fast, but they're cooking. So this, I suppose, just keep circling.
You just keep going in circles.
Find the bomb. I don't know. It wasn't, like I said, mine aren't very good.
That's fine. It's totally fine.
And then it's the people in the gondola are very sad because they don't get to go skiing. That's the worst part of the movie. That's truly heartbreaking. And the second one I have is, so you're in like an LA, a fancy LA gym, health club.
Okay. Oh God, I know where he's going.
No.
I know where he's going.
And you got like this guy starts running on the treadmill. And he gets up to, let's say, 8 miles an hour, or that's pretty fast for a person, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll say so.
Let's say 8 miles an hour. Sure. He can't dip below 8 miles an hour. But the other treadmills are also linked up to it. So he can get off and the next person can get on, but someone has always got to get up to no less than 8 miles an hour on this stupid treadmill. I don't know. It was enough.
I love it.
I got this. Speed 3 Death Spa.
Yes, that's it.
I immediately went, as soon as he did that, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be Murtaugh on the toilet all over.
Yeah, exactly. I was going with that. But then he said you could get off, and I was like, well, I guess it's really not that much of a.
It's not well thought out.
Okay, no, I got you. I got you. So we mix it with horror, and we make it like Saw movies. All these people are trapped in this health fitness area, and they have to keep doing all of these things so that the building doesn't explode. So like one person, and then so one guy is on the treadmill and he's getting tired. You know, all that stuff's building up in his legs. He can't really move his muscles. Someone has to take his turn. But instead of multiple treadmills, they got to figure out how to transfer from one person onto the same treadmill. And then what you're going to have is these moments where someone like slips and it throws them into the room.
And they're going to start sweating, and it's the treadmill's going to start.
Oh yeah, because the AC is going to go out because the building's been running for too long. So now they're all sweating up a storm.
Yeah.
I thought Steven over at Sposa Horror would appreciate that one.
I like that one.
Cross fitness.
We've already built up on that one. That's fantastic. So, all right. So I guess it's my
Charlie.
turn.
What was yours?
Mine. Okay. Picture it, guys. So there are these terrorists. and they have to stay moving all the time. And what's always moving without any way to, get in the way. And they always have to stay ahead of the government. Well, you get on a train, and this train is always going. And the problem is they didn't realize that there's this chef that's on board that is actually ex-military. And he starts causing all this chaos.
You're not doing a Seagal crossover with Speed.
That's just
Speed's
Under
a good
Siege
movie.
2.
No, seriously. We just has to keep going.
They go to dark territory by chance?
Well, that's because they have to get away from the government so they can't be tracked. So, and then when it goes from there, now here's the really intense part. There's another train coming the other way, and they only have a certain amount of time. And then they have to get on a helicopter. So our chef has to commandeer that helicopter because he got a friend that works in baggage. So he actually gets this guy to go up on the helicopter on the ladder, commandeer it, and there's a bridge. So this bridge comes out. So there's this big chasm because there was an explosion. And then they have to run up the train as it's falling down the canyon and just grab a hold of the ladder on the helicopter to get to safety. But then the terrorist guy, he actually is still holding on to the ladder. And so our hero has to just get up to the top of the ladder, and then kicks him right in the face. And you watch this guy just fall straight down, and all the explosions are happening underneath him. And he's dead. It's not like it's not like the first Speed. I'm actually going to kill the guy. So he's dead. And then our hero gets in the helicopter, and it's all okay because there's no bomb on the helicopter now. Speed 3.
Under Speed.
That sure sounds like
Under Speed. Yes. Yes, Troy wins. I didn't even think of that. Under Speed. Oh my God. Troy wins. Troy is winner of the podcast.
That's why you have him back.
Oh my God. This was all because they all said, Charlie, no, you can't have it on the train. And Nate immediately goes, it can't be Under Siege 2. You can't do that.
Oh, yes, it can.
I'm going to pitch it anyway.
You did a really good pitch there. I think it would work.
I think it'd be a great movie that's going to go over well. I wish someone would make it. So, all right, guys, I think it's time to do the things. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies. Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
Under Speed is going to have an amazing body count. I'm getting t-shirts made. Under Speed. Love it. All right, boys.
Under Speed, and then
when and then. I love this episode. I'm so glad.
We're building here.
I'm so glad this is the month of action. This is so happy. So even though I've seen this movie a lot, I actually had to, before I looked it up, I was like, oh, wait. I know there's like a handful of people that die in this movie, but I was like, it doesn't feel like a lot. But in all reality, 14 people die in this movie.
How many?
14.
All the cops that get
all the
blown
cops
up.
in the siege, I imagine.
Oh, yeah,
Yep,
okay.
when they blow up the house. So that's our biggest body count. But, we do lose the lady that falls under the bus.
Yep.
The bomber dies.
The guard that gets the knife in the ear.
Yeah.
Oh,
great dummy
that
effect.
was great.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
I did enjoy that. Well,
that was a holy shit moment. Yeah.
So 14's our body count, and Troy's just teeing us right up for the next part.
Have you ever killed anyone? Yeah, but they were all bad.
So we're going to pick our favorite. So Troy, what's your favorite kill of Speed?
I think it might be the guard because I didn't see that coming.
No,
I mean, I
it
knew
really
that he was
is
going
kind
to
of
kill
out of
him, but
nowhere.
that was just a little bit more Jason than I was expecting.
You thought he was going to grab a gun and go bang.
Yes.
But he grabs a letter opener or something.
It's a screwdriver. He grabs
Oh,
a
it's a
screwdriver
screwdriver.
out
That
of his
was it,
toolbox. Yeah. So no, great kill. So Pete, what about you, bub? What's your kill of the week for Speed?
Dennis Hopper getting his head removed from his shoulders.
Getting decaffeinated.
Oh, it was great because that was also a holy shit. I totally forgot about that.
Right.
And he's just given his speech, and then whack. It was wonderful.
Yeah, but I'm taller. Nate,
I'm going with Pete because there's only like 2 memorable kills in the whole movie. Well, 3, but you can't pick the old lady going.
I know.
underneath the
Yeah,
bus.
we can't. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't
that'd be a little
celebrate that
wrong.
kill.
The
So,
Jeff
like-
Daniels. Oh well.
Yeah, but man, he sells it with that look on his face,
I
though,
had a
like
good
that
run.
realization.
He's dead.
There was
Yeah.
a part of it. Maybe he survives though.
No.
You just
It was
give him-
more fire than bomb, so I'll
Right?
give it
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And some of those guys, they actually were launched into safety when they were pushed through the window.
It was like from Last Action Hero when those guys land in the tree. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man, it was just 3 days from retirement. That's
Oh,
it.
man.
So
That
well,
movie surprised me how much I liked it.
you two went that. I'm backing up Troy though, because I love the screwdriver through the ear of the guard at the beginning of this movie.
50-50. How about that?
Yeah, it is so
Fair.
unexpected, out of anywhere.
Totally
And
fair.
as a kid watching this movie, like I'm sure Dad was thinking, like, "Oh, that was a really cool kill," till he watches his kid watch it, going, "That was probably a little more intense than he needed to see."
His first star.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I think that's the worst because I still find the Dennis Hopper head funny. Like there's no
Yes.
gore; it's just like
Mhm.
head gone.
And
Bong.
it's pretty quick.
It's-
Whereas, like the security guard then falls back with that thing still
Yeah.
sticking out of his ear, and his like hands are up, and he's kind of like, ah.
The camera pauses with his hand still on the screwdriver. He lets go, and the camera shows the guy fall down, screwdriver and all. I mean, it's a pretty intense kill. So 50-50 for the 2 best kills in this movie.
Yeah,
Arguably.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really it. So, all right, boys, let's rate this bad boy.
Let's do it.
Well, Troy is grand winner of the podcast tonight. You get to go first,
Truly.
man. How many Alliangs are we giving Speed? And Millie, we should get Millie's vote too.
Yeah, Billy just
oh,
walked in the room.
yeah,
Billy,
definitely.
you want to hear? You want to give your opinion of
Yeah.
Speed real quick?
All right.
Hi, Millie.
Sure.
So you
Hi.
got to watch this for the very first time. I'm jealous. I was about your age when I watched it the
Yeah.
first time. So we have a scale called the Alliang. Your dad will tell you who that guy is. But
Yeah,
we
we
have
watched Die Hard.
from 1 to 10, how many Alliangs do you give Speed the movie?
10 being the best.
10 being the best, 1 being it's terrible.
Let's see. I would give it probably an 8.
Oh, yes. I
You liked
it.
it then. You liked it well, huh?
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty good.
I love it. I love it. I love that it was your first R-rated action
Was there any
movie.
part of it that freaked you out?
Not really.
Yeah,
But like the part where they were like pulling him by the nose is a little creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that
He
fight
picked
was
his
a
nose.
little brutal, but it's like what do you grab a hold of? I'm going to grab his nose
And it's
try to pull
bleeding
it off
after
his
he
face.
grabs it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
I don't know. I didn't like the screwdriver in the ear canal. That would have been my one that I didn't really care for.
I
That
must have
one was-
covered my eyes when I saw that.
Oh.
It was early in the movie too, so all the awesome stuff in the movie probably made you forget about that. So
Ah.
there you go. Well, that's awesome. We got the Millie seal of approval. I love it.
Yes.
Thanks, Billy.
Why, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Awesome.
See ya.
Bye. I love this.
A
This
new
is good.
generation.
This is going to be
Speed
one
has
of
found.
New
another
generation
great
of-
episode. I love this so much.
Personally, for me, my favorite Millie moment from the movie is at the end. They've slid out of the bus as it blows into the plane, and Keanu's lying on top of Sandra Bullock, and they kiss, and she says something about like how you can't. I hear that most relationships that start with
A traumatic experience.
traumatic experience don't last very long, and then Sandra Bullock replies, "I guess we'll just have to base it on sex then," and Millie just goes, and I hear Millie go, "Bro."
She
I love it.
broed Keanu.
She totally broed Keanu.
Keanu and Sandy got broed. I love it. I love this so much. All right, Troy. Well, what number are you going to give it? Millie set the bar really high for us
That's
tonight.
pretty high.
Yeah.
That was. I actually said 8.5. That was what I'd
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
Especially for a
Pete.
first watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pete, hit us with yours, brother. You got to
I'm
follow
trying to
this
remember
up.
what I gave Demolition Man, because that's what I want to give.
I think
this.
you gave it a 10.
No, did I?
He was way up there.
Yeah, it was high.
Okay, well, I'm going to give this a 9. This is a fantastic movie. Go out and see it. Period. Just go out and see it.
It's on Hulu right now, so you watch it on Hulu. It's amazing. Nate, what about you, Bubba?
For me, it's a 9 as well. Like,
that's awesome.
Speed rules. I could not believe how great this movie was.
I forgot how great
because
this
I
movie
forgot.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
know.
like a lot of it was just like scrambled in my head because of how long it's been. I was like, the moment that it started out with just like bop 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 with that like score and everything, and just like the title cards coming across, and I was just like, this movie is awesome, and nothing has happened yet. They're only showing it going down an
And nothing has
elevator.
happened yet.
Yeah. And then as it kept going, it was just like, please let these characters just have a breath of fresh air for once, because like, good Lord, does it not stop?
I mean, I don't know if they say what time he gets on the bus, but they do say it's almost 11. It's time to get paid. So it's like a few hours.
Yeah.
All this has been transpiring. So you're like, man, you would need to take a piss. I don't know. I don't think peeing would be the last thing I'd be thinking about.
I don't think I'd be
during
thinking
all
about
of
that at all.
After the bus jump, I don't need to pee anymore. It's totally fine.
Right, because I'm out.
But like
empty.
The Speed 4K's on sale right now at Amazon. I'm just like, do I need it?
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe if it's a cool steel box, I'd buy it.
Are there good special features? I
It's
don't
only
buy
$12 though.
Oh, I'd
it's a
buy it.
good deal.
If it's $12, I'd buy it.
Typically don't buy things unless there's a really good special feature, like commentaries and behind
the feature is it's $12 for 4K.
Yeah,
And
that's
really
the special
good
feature. That's a good deal for a 4K.
It's all good, but all right, I'll accept.
Charlie, your
those.
turn.
God, man, I have so much nostalgia for this movie.
Mhm.
This easily could have been a birthday pick for me too, and totally would have fit because it's my first VHS R-rated movie that my parents bought me. I didn't buy it myself. My parents went, he loves this freaking movie, and it's going to save us a ton of money by buying it on VHS. It's a 10. There,
Nice.
I have to nitpick it to find any flaw, and honestly, I don't fault the movie for any of the minuscule things that are a little unbelievable, I guess, at moments. I can watch this movie anytime. I watched it last night. I had the same goosebumps. I had the same emotional experience watching it. I am engrossed in it, and I have owned it in almost. Matter of fact, during our little outing that I got the virus thing, I also got this movie on Laserdisc. So I have Speed on Laserdisc.
Say that when
what, our little outing, we had fun.
that where you got a virus.
I got a virus. Where we got that virus, we all three got it.
Well, we were all in Pete's basement when we decided to share the virus.
That's right, man. That's right. But no, I'd sitting here been thinking it through. Like I was like, it's obviously a 9. It's obviously a 9.5. Is it a 10? Can I justify a 10? And I was like, yeah, I can justify a 10.
Absolutely.
This is such a fun, high energy action movie, and it's a summer blockbuster, and it's the month of action. We got to get a 10 in there somehow. Absolutely. I'm loving it.
Definitely.
So going from Expendables 2, which I adore, to Speed. And, next week we're not slowing down either. We're doing Lethal Weapon 2. So it's just going to be nonstop.
Oh my God.
Action. So it's going to be a blast. So
I haven't seen Lethal Weapon 2 in a while, and I'm really looking forward to
it's
it.
one of those where you're like, is 2 better than 1?
Better than 1? Right.
Yes.
That's one of those.
I think it is.
It's along the
line
lines
there too.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I can't pick. I can't
exactly. So that's why I threw that one in. So one more thing to do, and as much as I hate it, I just gave this movie a 10. Nate, you got to give us a trash review, Bubba.
No.
You ready?
Oh, of course.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
So
All right, Nate, break our hearts.
I'm going to guess that
Yes.
this reviewer is like, this is dumb, it's lowbrow, and there's not a lot of substance to it.
Well, you shall see, because this came from Ruben's Song in 2012, who gave it
Ruben's
1 out of
Song?
10. And they said, not seen the sequel, but it can't be any worse than the original.
Oh, I hate this guy already.
So this guy doesn't watch a lot of movies, huh?
Definitely. I recall Speed 2 meeting some very harsh reviews and being confused. The original film has to be one of the poorest films I've ever suffered. The plot had potential. Maybe that's why Dennis Hopper agreed to be in it. But the end result fails to deliver. Keanu Reeves acting is as
Keanu.
his usual cardboard standard. Why is he famous? Dennis Hopper lowers himself into a weak villain. Had this film been more tongue-in-cheek, they might have got away with it. Don't get me wrong. I like ridiculous films, but this would be poor stood next to a Steven Seagal movie. Saving Graces? Sorry, not even the beautiful and charming Sandra Bullock can rescue this one.
You made this up. You made this review up. There's no way that review is so on the nose for what we've just done. Oh my God.
Yeah, I like when I can find ones like
This
that.
guy wants to talk about the fall of Dennis Hopper. Just wait, bud, because after this, you got Waterworld. After this, you've got Mario Brothers, the movie.
I thought Mario Bros. Was before this.
When did Mario Brothers? This is 94. I thought Mario came out after.
Couldn't tell you.
But he played
I
King
remember seeing it in
Koopa.
theaters.
All right, so yeah. He's no,
guy doesn't watch a lot of movies, I
That better not be one of our Rubens. That's all I can say. Yeah. Oh.
Mario Bros. Was 93, so it was right before.
Right before. Yeah, so this guy had no idea about
So he's
Dennis
not
Hopper.
again. He's not seen a lot of movies.
He's just writing
Except
stuff.
he's seen some Steven Seagal movies.
Oh, the gold of Steven Seagal.
It's so funny. As soon as you said that, like, my hands went right to my head. Pete covered his mouth. Like, oh my God.
It's shocking. I mean, and we hadn't even written Under Speed yet, so the guy doesn't even know what's in store. And then, oh, good
He's gonna
review
feel
though.
real
Nate.
stupid.
That
Dude,
would totally fit.
Totally
man.
want Under Speed in
Under Speed, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to cover that on the podcast. Under Speed.
Uh,
All right, boys. Well, this was fun, man.
man, this was a blast.
This was a fun one. I'm sad that it's going to end right now, but we have more coming this month. As I said, we got Lethal Weapon 2 up next. Should have a special guest for that one, like we had over for Expendables 2. Thank you again, Owen, for coming over from the Action Elite on appearing on that episode, because Pete apparently didn't want to watch a bunch of bullets flying through the air. So it's totally fine. Those
Sometimes
five
shit
people, it's okay.
happens.
I know Pete's very busy helping children, so we will always forgive him for that. Even if that's not what you're doing, Pete. That's what I always tell everybody.
No,
You're like Superman. What's he do? He's Superman.
He spreads the virus.
Stop it.
No one believes that.
No one does. But I have proof. We have video of playing the triangle. All right. Well, if everyone is, if you want to keep following along and seeing those videos of Pete playing the triangle, you can follow us over on our social media and stuff. We're at Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group. We both are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter. We're on YouTube. I don't know if anyone knows that, but we're on YouTube.
I don't think they know that.
I don't think they know that we're on YouTube with
We
videos.
had so much fun with Blood Tide.
Right.
That was a blast.
I had a lot of fun with Blood Tide. That is out there. Please go check that episode out of our Tubi files.
Except
it was
Nate
awesome.
hated it.
I hated it.
Yeah, I thought it
Nate
was
is
great.
wrong.
We're still we're
boy.
3 for 3, so the pressure's on to see who gets the actual trash video first. So we'll see how that goes. All right, boys. Am I forgetting anything else? Also, hey, please go check out our friends over at Suns and Shadows. You heard their commercial earlier. Fantastic stuff. They also have a podcast and some awesome YouTube videos. They put a lot of work into it, man. They got green screens and all kinds of stuff, man. I am thoroughly impressed with those guys. Good friends of the pod. They're also in our groups and everything. So if you want to interact with anyone you hear, they're out there. It's just like one nice big community we got going on. So I want to thank Troy and Pete, both two pieces of the Good Beer Bad Movie Night podcast. You know, so whenever you get done listening to us, you just automatically hit play on their podcast episodes. There's just one a month. It's not a lot to get through. It's an easy listen. It's a lot of fun. And what's your most recent and what's coming up for you guys over at Good Beer Bad
We
Movie
did.
Night?
So the last episode we recorded was Crabs, and we here at
I can't
Give Me
wait.
Back My Horror Movies reviewed that back in February, I think.
I think so. It was over on our YouTube.
So
Yep.
in July, it's our independent month. So we always pick an independent film of some sort.
Yep.
And we'll do Christopher Mim. We'll do. I've got a nephew by marriage who is a filmmaker, and he's actually got a really cool story. I'll go into that later somewhere else. But this year we did Crabs, and we had a very, very good time doing that. So that's going to drop on the 15th of it's going to drop on the 15th of July.
July. Yep. So month of action and month of crabs. So
month of crabs.
That's not the virus I was talking about earlier.
No,
so it's totally fine.
no.
Totally fine.
He does
not at
spread
all.
that around.
We did.
You
we
can't
did
get that through action.
We did a crossover with Spoils of
can.
Horror also recently. So
Oh, that's right. You did an episode swap with them.
Yeah,
or a movie
we
swap,
did an
I should
episode
say.
swap.
Yeah.
I gave them a movie and they gave us a movie.
I think they
And-
won.
Well,
they won.
They loved the movie I gave
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
because it
'cause you
is
picked a banger.
banger. Oh man, it's awesome. If you haven't seen Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, go to Tubi and watch that thing. It's 62 minutes long. Just watch the movie. It's fantastic.
Right. And what did
they
you guys
gave-
have to watch?
We watched They're Watching, which was a found footage film that wasn't as bad as it could have been, but should have been better than it was.
Started great, had a good going, and then all of a sudden,
And then it just shit the bed.
Someone wasn't there going, and then.
It's true.
They
I
definitely.
I'm
think
so
they-
curious to watch it though, because I'm like, well, how badly did it shit the bed?
it's pretty intense.
It's pretty bad. I like this.
Like they had a great script and then didn't know how to end it, and then they just did this. They go,
It's kind of like some of our episodes on the podcast. It was
I know,
great.
right?
But we just didn't know how to end it.
That's enough about us. So yeah, come over and listen to us.
That's right.
We tend to be fun.
They tend to be fun. It's Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where they drink good beer, watch bad movies, but not every movie's bad and not every beer's good.
Correct.
So,
That's the tagline.
I made that tagline.
I love that.
That's
I
why
love
I
it.
say it all the time. All right, boys. Anything else, Nate? Am I forgetting anything? Are we good?
Yeah, sure.
That's another check in the box for. He's still salty that there's no horror movie this month. He'll be fine. You got to watch Speed.
Wait,
I did.
Okay? Yeah. So I think you win. You're winning right now. You're winning.
September's going to be awesome, Nate.
Yeah, it is.
God, that's right. You guys.
Oh my
It's
God, it
another
is.
month Charlie doesn't get to pick a movie.
Damn straight.
Then they question, well, why did Charlie pick all of July? Last month I didn't get to pick a movie. In September I don't get to pick a movie. In October it's all horror movies. I'm taking July, damn it. America.
Fridays, and then February's coming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where did that trailer voice guy come from
Troy,
all of a
we need
sudden?
more of that.
No doubt. What the hell? Troy, you won already, sir. You are king of the podcast tonight. That's amazing. All right, boys, let's end this stuff. Let's get out of here.
All right, what's a good word, Charlie?
Yeah, but I'm taller.
Whoa. That's a good one.
I was still hoping Nate didn't get it, and I was still going to say it.
Oh, yeah. You had that queued up. That's
I was
great.
totally ready. The whole episode, that was the end.
Always going to be the end.
Going
It's
out
gonna
on
go
Nate,
like,
going like,
"Huh?
what's it mean?
What's it all mean?
That would've been-
They didn't explain it in Speed 2. Also, they would have never broke up. I swear. All right, you go through that much, you don't break up in Speed 2.
They told
I
us
call
they were-
shenanigans.
They already told us to expect them to break up because you know when a relationship starts under extreme traumatic
then
stress,
that means that
relationships usually fail.
Yeah, but then you're telling me Keanu's a bad lay? Don't
Right.
believe that for one
I don't believe
second.
that either.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Millie
It's a lot
already
of-
called bro on it, so that's it.
Bro.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure. It's a lot
It
of pressure.
is,
But
but
he's cool under pressure, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
definitely.
Whoa.